everybody, Kevin,
Shane,
and we're here with Goblin Gulch today, and we are installing a brand new Whirlpool dishwasher. We've already looked at the old one, and needless to say, it's going to be an interesting installation.
oh yeah.
We don't know some of the reasons as to why it was installed the way it was installed before. Guarantee we are going to be finding out why they did it the way they did do it.
We're going to try to do it better this time.
Yeah, we're going to try and make it a clean installation, professional style. You will be looking at some of the stuff we will be showing you along the way. So we're going to be filming this and try and put it together correctly, which so far has been very fun and interesting. But follow along with us and let's play the Goblin way. Okay, so here is what we're looking at so far. It's not pretty. You're talking, it's been in here about 20-30 years, so we don't know exactly everything we're getting into. But it is an old Amana, and brace yourselves, it gets nasty under here. Okay, so there's where we say the interesting. This is the feed line for the refrigerator that's over here. So we're not sure exactly why that was done that way, but we got to get it out. This is the stuff people don't see, the unpretty parts of the world. This is where the goblins roam and play. So off we go. So as we're moving along, we have failed to realize that there is, well, hold on, you can't really see it. It's full of water. So when it malfunctioned and stopped working, it actually was still in the process. So we're gonna have to bail water before we can get this out of here. As we said, it was gonna be interesting. Just a surprise of the job.
Hey, Goblin Gulch tip of the day. When you're installing a pigtail, little regular plug, and it has the 3, everyone should know the center is your ground. That's going to be green. But a lot of folks don't know what the difference is between the two sides, and it does make a difference. So with most appliances or any electrical connection, you're going to have 3 main colors. You're going to have your ground, which is green. You're going to have your white, which is neutral, and your black, which is your line. Now on here, the way you can tell the difference on which side it goes to what color, see if we can get this in the shot. One side has ribs on it, and one side is smooth. The smooth side goes to black, the rib side goes to white. Now you can wire these things backwards and they might work. They might work for a while, but what'll end up happening is it'll burn through the boards or the electronics, and then you're going to have to call us out to help you out and have to spend that money to replace a new control board. So try to do it right the first time, help you out a lot. tech tip. All dishwashers, especially the modern ones, you're going to have filters. Before it used to be just the net, but now you have removable filters. And depending on how much you use it, you want to keep these clean. One of our jobs wasn't draining, it was filling up, all this fun stuff, and leaking on the floor just because they never cleaned the filter. You can pull that out, it's just a quarter turn, and you can even pull this out. You always want to look through, make sure. Little plastic brush and some scrubbing will get all that clean. And you can wipe down in there. They also make dishwasher cleaning tablets. You want to run those through at least once or twice a year, but more often is better. Put this all the way back in. Different models are going to have different kinds of filters, but they all have filters now. Make sure it's locked into place. Give that a spin to make sure it's all good. And you're ready to go.
Okay, so we're fully installed, fully ready to go. Everything's been hooked up. Water line is connected. Drain pipe is connected to the air gap. As you saw, the electrical's been hooked up and is plugged in. This bad boy is locked in. We're ready to fire it. Lights up. Heat dry. Now we're not going to worry about heat drying right now. There's nothing in it. We don't want to harm it on its empty run. We got water. All right, now we're going to get down here. We're going to inspect it, go through. So
Got water in the drain line, which is perfect.
So it did its initial try. We're hooked up. Nothing's leaking. We have no water. We're just letting it do a dry run with just water in it going. No. Did we take everything out of the inside? Okay. I don't want us to find it. We forgot a paper. That was on you, not me. All right.
I love being a goblin. Talk about tunnel vision.
Dude, literally. All right, folks, we're looking golden and good. We're just going to let this go through its cycle for the first time. Make sure we don't see no surprises of water. Take care, everybody. We'll see you in just a second. Okay, so the dishwasher is installed, and it's working perfectly. Went through all of its cycles, no problem. And as we knew, we were going to be faced with some headaches. But everything went great. And, well, personally, I'm happy because it's my own dishwasher. So, customer's excited. But, as we always say, remember, we're not just handymen, we're goblins.
See you next time.